Hello, world. Welcome back to Golf Subpar. Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. The Sony Open has concluded, and Siwoo Kim shook his ass all over Waialae Country Club, picked up his 4th PGA Tour win. I love this dude. I've told you many a times, he's one of the funniest guys there is. I wish he speaks pretty good English, but I wish he could speak just a little better so we could get him sitting right here between us and do an episode of Subpar.
That should be the motivation for him, to just dial up that English a little bit more, because everyone on tour loves this guy. He's super fun. And then his interviews, like after he won, after Buckley didn't birdie the 18th, it's like, you know, I don't think he's saying what he would say if he was comfortable speaking English, but what a win by him. That leaderboard, you know, going in the last day wasn't the most exciting, I get. A lot of guys trying to win for the first time, but that tournament ends up providing drama as it always did. How about the marbles on Siwoo on 18, tied for the lead, tees up the 3-wood like it was a driver, and I was like, that's an easy dummy mark situation right there. Thursday, Friday does it. All right, I can see that, but last hole of the tournament, tied for the lead. I was like, damn, that takes some balls.
I'll tell you what, with Siwoo, it's either feast or famine. He plays really good. This is his 4th PGA Tour win, his 5th worldwide win. Not scared to miss some cuts. Not scared to dub D.
Not afraid to break some putters.
Don't.
Putted the back 9 of the Masters with the 3-wood when he was playing good. Yeah. By the way, he ain't afraid to snap a wand.
He tends to lose a little bit, but we saw him go, toe-to-toe with Justin Thomas in the first match off Sunday at the President's Cup. Took him down. Won a Players' Championship. I mean, he's not scared of the big moment.
His good golf is really, really good. It ebbs and flows, but when it's good, I mean, this is his 4th win, dude. He's been out there for so long, you kind of forget. He's a kid. Like, he's young. Super young.
He got his tour card when he was 17?
17 years old when he got his tour card. I mean, he won quickly. He hadn't won on the PGA Tour since, 2021? The Amex. It's been a minute, but, like, he's fresh. There's so many new young kids coming out, you forget about it.
I think he's just going to continue to get better and better. The one thing, though, he still has to do his military service in Korea, which is 2 years. I can't remember the age before. I believe it's 28. So he's coming up on that pretty quickly.
The only way around that, you got a medal at the Olympics, right?
You can do that or win a major championship.
Okay.
Players should count.
That's nerves at a major. Everyone's nervous trying to win a major when it's like this matters. I don't have to take 2 years off of what I do for a living, and who knows how I come back after that while everybody else is still playing. Different. Hits a little different.
Yeah, but congrats to him on his 4th PGA Tour win. Tough one for Hayden Buckley. Had a great chance to win, but just didn't birdie the 72nd hole like Siwoo did.
Little bit of a squirrely lie he got there. Kind of a bad break. Hard to get the club on the ball. I was going to hit a little squirter up there. It went right. Probably the one place, short right, one place it's the toughest to get up and down from. Had a chance. Hit a pretty good drive there, too. If it stops 2 inches shorter, I think it's a completely different shot.
No doubt. Well, I just got back from the Latin American Amateur Championship over in Puerto Rico. Is that all right?
Bienvenidos. Yeah, Rico.
There you go. That's pretty good.
Roll that thing.
But what an event this was. The Masters, the USGA, the R&A. Got to throw a big shout out to them for everything they do for the game of the golf. It got announced this week, Thursday, during play actually. The USGA announced the winner of the Latin American Am gets in the U.S. Open from now going forward. So the winner was going to get a spot at LA Country Club this coming year to go along with the Open Championship and the Masters. 3 of the 4 major champions. You win this tournament, you're in. And at the end of the week, Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira from the University of Arkansas in Argentina was your champion. Put on a clinic, 22 under par, won by 4. Little Saturday 63. It was something special to watch. He was the 34th ranked player in the World Amateur rankings coming in, 15th in the PGA Tour U, so obviously has a lot of game. And he went out and showed it. This kid, I can't wait to see what he does once he turns professional. He's not one of those guys where it's like crazy flashy and you're like, oh my God, look at this guy do that. But he's just steady Eddie. Drives it all right. Great iron play. His short game is fantastic. He's one of those guys, like, I don't know if he'll be a top 10 player in the world, but I can just see him being that guy that's 50th in the world and just printing check after check after check.
Like a Tom Hoagie
Just
type.
making a gazillion.
It's like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that, except guess what? You don't do it every single time. Just one after another. He's got to be a complete – I mean, you got to be a complete dum-dum to pass up the Masters, the Open, and and the U.S. Open and the Open, don't you think? That'd be just about you'd regret that forever.
It's funny you say that because after we finished on Sunday, I was sitting there having lunch and I was fortunate enough to win the USAM, which gets you in those same exact 3 tournaments.
Oh shit!
And I obviously chose to bypass them for other reasons. But Martin Slumbers, the chief executive officer of the R&A, was there, and we have a great relationship. He's super nice. Know the guy. Say hi every time we walk by, share some stories. Comes in afterwards, and I'm sitting there, and he's like, do you think the kid will stay? Because he plans on turning pro next week. I was like, oh, he'll for sure stay. I would think in all of his interviews, He talked about how excited he was to tee it up in all three of them. He's like, yeah, man, you got to stay. Like, you'll regret that for the rest of your life if you turn those down.
You got to be a fucking idiot not to do that. I mean, all right, well, see you later, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, cool. I have no idea if he actually had any idea, like, if that was on purpose saying it to me. But either way, I found it hilarious. It was really fun.
That's something you'd kick yourself for forever. All right, got to go.
But congrats to Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira on the incredible play. All the kids. It was a hell of a tournament. Some really good golf. Got kind of tight there on the back nine, but Mateo ended up pulling it out. But once again, to all three of those organizations who they foot the bill for this entire championship. They get the players there. They put them up. They fly them home. I mean, it is first class. There is not a better run golf tournament in the world. I'm not talking amateur, professional, or anything. Latin Am, Asian Pacific Am, it is a treat to be there, and I just can't thank them enough for all they do for the game of golf.
And good to have you back, bud. You look well bronzed, well rested.
Feeling great.
Everything. Probably shaking that ass like Siwoo over on the
salsa.
Yeah, salsa big down there, huh?
83 in Puerto Rico. Come home to Scottsdale. It's 48 and raining.
Yeah. We took over Seattle while we were gone.
Out
we
of
did a
here.
trade.
What is happening?
Cash and picks for their weather.
This episode of Subpar is brought to you by the Stack System, the most advanced speed training system in the game of golf. The Stack System pairs a single club, which is configurable into 30 resistance level with an industry-changing app. This stack assesses your speed profile and provides custom programming. Sleaze, I use this thing.
You're on this thing right now.
It.
Where are we at? Give us a live update on the speed.
Fresh into this. I've done my baseline test, and I've done 3 training sessions. I'm up 2 miles an hour.
Hello,
don't want to reveal the speed yet. I missed a week because I was in Puerto Rico. Oh, yeah. Triple digits, of course.
Shit's over.
But I'm going to get back in it this week. Now that I'm home from Puerto Rico, I didn't want to travel all the way across with it. But this thing's amazing. The app is the best. I mean, it's a personal trainer. It is so detailed. There's videos that show you how to do every single exercise, show you what time after you work out. It says 2 days from now, between this time and this time, you should do it again. It is so detailed. I promise even you could figure it out.
Interesting. God, imagine if I get on this stack, what I would do to the golf ball. Unleash this speed. A lot of dudes use it too, including Chris Como on Bryson's come up with the speed, huh? He said the stack is by far the best speed training system available. It's the easiest way for a golfer to reach their speed potential. Also, world long drive dudes.
Martin Borgmeyer, longest on the planet.
That's the one.
He uses it, credits all his success to the stack system. You might have heard of this guy, Matt Fitzpatrick. This is where it really caught my eye. Watching Matt Fitzpatrick at the U.S. Open, he went from a 165 mile an hour ball speed to over 180.
He went from a normal dude to long.
Yeah. What he has done has been incredible, and the stack was created by leading golf researcher Dr. Sasho McKenzie and the VP of Fitting and Performance at Ping, Marty Jertson, who's also played in 6 majors, by the way, and has his name over 125 patents.
Marty knows
this
a thing
thing
or two.
Is legit. It is blowing up. You definitely want to get yours. Go find it you can go to the Golf.com Pro Shop. Go to Golf.com, use code SUBPAR for 10% off and get yours. You want more speed? Well, you got to pay for it, but we're going to give you 10% off. Golf.com Pro Shop.
10% faster.
Minimum.
You know? Easy.
But once again, that's code SUBPAR. All right, our guest this week, Sleaze. James Tyree Poston, otherwise known as JT Poston out there in the world. Some might call him the other JT. It is
Can get a bit confusing.
But one of the best dudes out there, 2-time winner on the PGA Tour, arguably the most famous caddy in the land. Aaron Fleener.
Without question. Celebrity on the bag, blowing up. He's got to keep that under, in check. Fleener's going to be having some opportunities.
Yep, but this one was a lot of fun. Let's get to it. Here's James Tyree Poston on Golf Subpar.
Folks, we got a 2-time winner on the PGA Tour with us here today. He is a proud Western Carolina catamount. Been known to go 72 holes without making a bogey, and he's got a budding superstar as a caddy. The Postman, JT Poston. How are you, brother?
Good. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to it.
Good to have you.
Thanks for joining us. First off, I ask you this all the time, and I don't understand. When your name's James Tyree, how do you not go by that? I mean, come on. James Tyree Poston.
I might have to start. I mean, the number of stuff that I get tagged in that are videos and pictures of Justin Thomas, and I get tagged on social media, I'm gonna have to change it up. Something.
If you could scoop in on some of them royalties, maybe, then okay, let's stay JT. But
yeah, I mean, I'm on board. But when it's just social media pictures, and I mean, it'll be people that have taken a selfie with Justin Thomas and tagged me in it.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same person, you know.
You show up to one of those speaking engagements, like JT's here, boys. Where's that $100,000? You got the $100,000? I'm ready to go on.
Yeah. Count me in.
Yeah, I think you just dropped the James. Just go with Tyree.
Tyree's great.
Tyree Post, dude, ain't nobody forgetting that.
Hey, I'll answer to all of it. If y'all want to start it, I'll answer to it.
Tyree,
Colt, you say it on air one time, and I'll be off and running.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
from now on, you're James Tyree or Tyree to me going forward.
Perfect.
Done.
I want to talk a little bit about this Western Carolina because first off, I actually have no clue. I could have Googled it, but I figured I would just ask you. What is a catamount?
To be honest, I've never seen one in person. I would say, like, when I was in school, that question would come up a lot. It's basically a mountain lion, bobcat, something in between, somewhere in there. Some sort of mountain cat would be the best description, but I can't say I've actually seen one, so it may not even be real.
Is it like a Sasquatch cat of the Carolinas?
It could, yeah, exactly. I'd say Sasquatch type cat scenario. I mean, it's in the cat family, I guess.
We'll get McCord on that. He'll find them.
My high school was the Bearcats. Those don't exist either.
That's not a real animal.
It's not.
It's
combining two
Bearcat.
animals.
Yeah.
It's the Tiger Lions.
Yeah.
Ferocious.
The
animal.
Tiger Lions. You went to Western Carolina, like we said, I wouldn't say known as a golf powerhouse, but while you're there, I mean, you win 6 times while you're there. You won the North Carolina State High School Championship on your way up. Were you not recruited by like the Carolina schools, or how'd you go to Western Carolina?
I was kind of a late bloomer in the whole junior circuit. And I grew up a big Tar Heel fan and wanted to go to Chapel Hill so bad. And I went on a visit, did the whole thing, toured the campus. It was great. And basically it was like, I'm ready. Like, I want to play here. And coach pretty much told me I wasn't good enough to be on his roster. And, at the time, given my resume and some of the other kids, like, I couldn't blame him, but it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me because it gave me a chip on my shoulder the rest of probably my junior and college career. And at the time, my other options were ECU and Western. ECU, I could have been teammates with Harold for a year, which would have been fun, would have been cool. But I tried to make the smart decision, and I knew I wanted to go into business school, and if golf didn't work out, so I went Western. And I honestly went into it thinking I'd go for a couple of years and transfer, but I ended up liking it and kicked those Tar Heels ass all the time. So
that's one thing I tell all these like junior kids getting ready to go to school. It's like, hey, you wanted to go to North Carolina, you probably could have gone, but you might not have played. And for professional golf, it doesn't matter. There's no draft or anything, so just go where you can play and get better.
The number of reps and the tournament reps, and where we play in the best college tournaments every week in and week out, like the Georgias and the Vanderbilts and stuff. No, but it's tournament golf. I went into it, and I got a lot of good experience and exposure, and it definitely kind of built my confidence up, getting ready for turning pro, which I knew I wanted to do going in anyways.
Well, real quick, he did make the notable alumni on the Western Carolina Wikipedia page. Mm-hmm. And also one who I didn't know went there, one Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel. I saw that.
Different Mel Gibson, apparently.
Not the same? So you share any of the same
Not the same.
beliefs?
Not the one that you're thinking of, I think.
Mel Gibson of the LA Lakers.
People always ask.
He's a multi-talent, that guy.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, Passion of the Christ, the Lakers, all kinds of shit from that guy. How are you still a diehard Tar Heel basketball fan when I feel like you would hate Carolina after that experience? Like, I can't go here? Screw you.
No, I think I just, from such a young age, I was such a big Tar Heel fan. And it was always more centered around basketball. I never really grew up watching a bunch of Carolina football. It was always just basketball season. And so, when basketball rolls around, I still pull for them. But from a golf side, I just basically took it as maybe more personally towards the coach and not necessarily the university. It was more like, he doesn't think I'm good enough, and I'm going to go beat all his guys' ass that he's taken ahead of me. And it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me, because if he said, great, we want you to come on and play, then like you said, I might have played half the events. I might not have gotten in the lineup a whole lot. I might have played here or there, and then who knows? But I went to a place where I started and played every event all 4 years, and that was a big difference.
Yeah, it worked out all right.
On a grizz.
I got to ask, have you been to Duke, North Carolina in person?
Yes. Probably the greatest sporting event I've been to in my life.
At Chapel
Yeah.
In
Hill?
Chapel Hill.
Which one? Both or
At Chapel
just
Hill.
Chapel?
Both. I'm trying to remember. I have not been to Duke. I have not been to Cameron Indoor, but I've been to Chapel Hill when they played Duke. Both teams were, I think, top 10 at the time, and Chapel Hill won by maybe 8 or 9 or something. Like it was,
God, I can't
they
imagine.
brought it, and it was. I mean, I've never been in anywhere so loud in my life. It was nuts.
That's a bucket list if you're a basketball fan.
It was.
What
so,
year was that
definitely,
you went to
even
it?
if you're not a. I'm trying to remember off. I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head. I can probably find it, but it was probably 5 years ago or so, 4 or 5 years ago.
That's so sick.
All
wanna go.
right, bonus
dude,
question. This is kind of an E9 type, but give me your all-time top 1 or 1, 2, and 3 corniest Duke basketball players ever. Just corniest or most hated.
I mean, JJ Redick, Kyle Singler,
Singler, yeah, he took some.
and what's the? I'm drawing a blank on
Grayson
the guy
Allen?
that he's the head coach now.
Oh, I figured.
Grayson Allen.
Shire?
Yes, actually, yeah, Grayson
John
Allen.
Shire?
Yeah, I would say Grayson Allen. over
Grayson's
him.
got it, yeah.
I forgot about Grayson.
Grayson gets a
Allen.
lot of hate.
That dude was a punk.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was a punk. I mean, as a Tar Heel fan, like there were some cheap shots, it seemed like, in there, and from our point of view, it didn't look too.
JJ Redick.
Redick was like hated
He
at
was-
Duke, and now I feel like everyone loves him. Like he's come a long way.
Yeah,
If you're white and shoot good
Yeah,
at
I
Duke,
think
you're
he-
just gonna get blasted.
that's just where you go. If you're white and you shoot good, you're gonna go to Duke.
They kept.
I should have gone there.
I heard a podcast with him. He had to change his phone number like 12 times in college because they kept giving out his phone number
Yeah.
like everywhere.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Didn't they do something like
Yeah.
that with Stetson Bennett?
Yeah.
Georgia.
Who'd they
Where
play?
was that?
Was
What
that the
game was that?
Tennessee game? And he did the call. He's like, he scored the first touchdown.
I
He's
think
like,
it
calling,
was.
they,
Yeah,
They
He
got
scored
his
the first
number.
touchdown. He did the
Blew his. He had like 500 missed calls from like midnight till 6.
all night.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
I would have talked to all of them.
That's a
It's
good
kind of
move.
genius.
Yeah, I like it.
Respect. Respect.
Let's talk about early on in your pro career because I mean, you won 6 times in college. You get ready to turn professional, and it didn't really go that well. You missed at Q school. You actually missed at Canadian Q school. And one thing I don't think people know is you Monday qualify into the event at Victoria National, which is one thing. And on the Corn Ferry Tour, you top 25, you get into the next week. But your situation was rather odd because there was an interesting weather situation that happened on Sunday. Take us through that.
Yeah. So, like you said, I had Mondayed in, and it was my first web event. Never played a tour event. Never played a web event. So I made the cut on the number, squeaked by, and then played okay Saturday to be in like maybe 40th place going into Sunday, and so I started on the back, and Sunday I'm a couple under going into the last hole. 9 is a birdie hole. Not many of them on Victoria National. It's par 5. Reachable. I hit a good drive, hit a second shot down there just in front of the green, probably like a 20-yard chip, and they blew the horn for a thunderstorm. And so I knew like there's not many leaderboards on the front 9, so I knew I was playing well enough to probably be close to that top 25 number, but I wasn't exactly sure where I stood. And the whole weather delay, I'm just kind of grinding on my phone, like going over the scenarios. If I make birdie, where do I go? Do I need to make this? And I think if I get it up and down, I would have gone to T25. But there was a guy behind me that was in the fairway, and if he was at T25, he makes birdie, he bumps me out. And so I remember kind of going into it thinking, I probably need to make it, but I definitely need to get it up and down. And I mean, it was probably an hour and a half rain delay, and came back out, and everybody's hitting balls. I just went and hit 20-yard chips for about 15 minutes, and then go out there, and sure enough, hooped it, made 3, which got me into the next week, which was huge, and then finished 3rd in Raleigh, and that got me enough money to have status and starts the rest of the year, and parlayed it into a tour card.
That's the sickest.
That's
the
incredible.
sickest.
Yeah.
That's the sweetest thing of all.
Imagine if that doesn't go in.
Because you go through.
Dude,
the
it's
phone.
the best. I mean, I mean, people have asked me like, I don't know, like most clutch maybe, but it was definitely the biggest shot of my golf career, like as far as changing kind of the direction and trajectory that I was going. I would say there's probably some other shots that felt more clutch to me, like in certain scenarios now, but because at the time I was so naive I knew I wanted to make it. I knew I wanted a top 25, but there's no way I would have known that I was going to go on the run that I did and what it would mean. So, but yeah, now looking back, it's pretty wild.
I mean, imagine that, like, just same chip, lips out, hits something, hangs on the lip, whatever. All right, the guy makes birdie behind you, 26. Now you got to go Monday the next week. That's hard as shit. You maybe don't get in. All of a sudden, you're back to Q school, and then you took that and just parlayed the hell out of it. And what?
Yeah.
I mean, that event was in what, July at the time, pre-playoff stuff?
I think it was April.
Yeah, it was early because it would always be cold and it could play hard. I mean,
it moved late. Anyway. Yeah,
it was. I remember it playing hard because I think I shot four under Sunday, and I want to say like I remember. I think Seamus Power might have won. He shot like 7 or 8 under. It was playing tough.
Mm-hmm.
So it was wild. I mean, one of those scenarios, you get hot and like you start playing well in the stretches of golf, and luckily it just lasted about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, you played incredible, and you rallied it right into a PGA Tour card. But I heard this from Keith Mitchell and your caddy Aaron Fleener, so I want your side of the story because the rumor has it when you lost in a playoff in Kansas City, y'all got in the minivan to go to Springfield, Missouri the next week, and you were rather pissed off about losing. And Keith was like, dude, what are you so upset about? You're like, man, I lost. And he's like, well, you got a PGA Tour card. Rumor has it you didn't even know you locked up a tour card when you lost in that playoff.
No, I didn't. So I thought I knew at the time it was kind of late in the season. And I was one of those bubble boys where like I was 23 to 26 for so long. And I ended up playing 8 events in a row to kind of finish off the year because of that. But yeah, going into the week and going into the playoff, I knew if I won, then I was going to be good. I knew that was going to get me enough because at the time it was still moneyless. It wasn't points. I knew it was going to be enough money to get me across that finish line. But yeah, I remember walking off the green pissed because I buried the first playoff hole. Like I hit a lot of good shots and just didn't happen. Whatever. Wesley won, and yeah, Keith was like greets me right off the green, and Fleener too, and just like fired up, like so pumped, like yelling. I'm like, dude, what? I lost. Like, what are you talking about? Like, did you just see any of this? And he said, dude, you locked up your card, and like flipped a switch. Could care less about the tournament. It was just dream come true, and like we celebrated accordingly.
As you should.
As you should. Yeah, there's such thing as a good loss sometimes, and that's one of them.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, for sure.
When you got your first tour start, like, did it ever just set in and be like, dude, 5 months ago I didn't even have a Canadian card. Like I was playing the Jicks, and now all of a sudden here I am, first PGA Tour start from no status to tour card that quickly. Doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, there was definitely like getting on the range early in the week. Not necessarily Monday because not many people were there yet on Monday, but like Tuesday and Wednesday early in the week, and you're starting to see some names that are playing in Napa that I'm used to watching on TV and following closely. And now all of a sudden I'm hitting balls next to them on the range, and it was that was kind of the first like pinch me kind of moment, or starstruck, whatever you want to call it, where I was like, holy cow, like I'm on the PGA Tour. This is not, this is going to be me for the rest of the year. This isn't just 1 week. And so there was definitely a little bit of that feeling, but luckily I was able to kind of set it aside and go play okay that first week.
Yeah, you made it, and you obviously, you've got 2 wins so far and don't see you slowing down anytime soon. But I got to talk to you about your putting a little bit, because in a day and age where everyone strives to make everything look so perfect, you got the TrackMan, you got the video behind you, everyone's trying to look like Adam Scott swinging it, everything wants to be perfect. And then you look at your putting.
Yeah.
You're a great putter, but you do things quite differently. You got the 10-finger grip, the right arm is higher than the left. It's not the most conventional stroke, but it works. Why do you think so many people try to teach like this perfect putting stroke and everything? And when I was talking to Keith this morning, I used you as an example, and Brian Gay, who's one of the best putters the PGA Tour has ever seen. And if you broke it down, he does everything they don't teach. So yeah, take us through your putting though, and like how has it just always been that way?
Yeah, I don't know if I have an answer for why everybody wants it to be so linear and perfect and whatnot, but I would say my philosophy and my method, and I would stand by this for my whole career, and it's how it's been my whole life, is part of it is I'm a field player. So like even in my golf swing and how I play the game, it's very field based, and I just kind of know what shots, what feels does what. And so with my putting, my biggest thing is I want to get all. I don't want to have any tension. I don't want to, I want to feel as comfortable as I possibly can over the ball, and from there it's just reps. I mean, I hit a lot of putts. I hit a lot of putts growing up as a kid. I never saw a putting green I didn't like, and I would just go out there for hours and hit putts, whether short putts, long putts, you name it. And just got to a point where I was comfortable, and I couldn't. I know when I set up to it, wherever my putter's pointing is not where the ball is going to start, but I know where the ball is going to start, and it's just a feel thing. I don't it's hard to teach because I've sat there and watched Keith putt, of other guys putt, and tried to offer my advice, and but my philosophy is like I'm just going to get comfortable over it, and I know where the ball is going to start, and I'm just going to brush it in. Like it's as simple as that. I'm not trying to start it on a perfect line. I'm not trying to make sure I'm lined up dead perfect. I'm just going to get as comfortable as I possibly can over it, and then just brush it in. And it's just kind of how I've always done it.
I love what you say about getting comfortable because especially over a putter when it's the most stressful you can probably feel is that nervy 10-footer. You got to feel comfortable over it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one thing you do in your golf swing too. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you walk into the ball, you're not a guy that really lines up behind it. You're beside the ball, you give a tug to your glove, and then I feel like you kind of just look down the fairway and kind of aim and feel it out.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I'm a field guy. I'm very visual. Fleener and I, a lot of times we're picking a specific shot. With low fade, high fade, draw, hard draw, whatever. And I'm kind of painting the picture, but I'm not, like you said, I'm not a guy that's going to stand behind it and like pick a target and I'm going to hit it right there. I'm kind of looking out in this area and I'm just going to draw it, or I'm going to look out in this area and I'm going to fade it. And same thing with the putting. Like when I read greens, I'm not picking a spot out, I'm not saying one cup out or two balls out, or I'm not picking a spot halfway that I'm trying to roll it over. I just kind of see a path and see the ball going in the hole. And I just kind of have a feel or know where that is and where that path is, and just starting it on that line.
I love hearing that. I feel like the more really good putters we talk to when we walk through it, it sounds like that. It sounds like you said. And then you talk to the guys who struggle putting, and they're the ones with 17 devices and and lines, and like everything has to be perfect. And I'm like, why wouldn't you try to copy the guys that seem to be the best at it? That's what they don't do.
Look at all the and I would say a step further, like look at all the best putters in the world. Nobody does it the same, really. Like you got Snedeker who pops it. You've got Zach Johnson, who was a great putter, and he's got a little different setup. Jordan Spieth is a great putter. He's cross hand. Like there's so many different ways to do it. It's just, I think those are guys that have found what's comfortable to them and what feels right to them, and they stick with it, and then they just go hit putts, and their confidence goes up, and then they're off and rolling.
I mean, like Crenshaw's stroke. No, it wasn't one you'd look at and be like, I want to stroke it like that.
Well, I would. But
Brant,
Brant Snedeker could hit 8 putts before like Lauren Roberts hit 1. I mean, it's just that long, slow.
Yeah.
David Toms was very similar.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear.
Staying on your feel for a moment, let's go to your golf swing, because this past year started out, you weren't having your best year. You start off slow with some missed cuts, and then bam, at some point, it was around Harbor Town, something clicked in your golf swing. And we talked to you about it a little bit before that, but you get a win, all of a sudden you end up at East Lake and have a monster year. You're headed to Hawaii. What was it that all of a sudden mid-season last year, like, oh, got it?
I think it was the culmination of just working on the golf swing for a while. I definitely had gotten into some bad habits with my swing, and just getting it back to where it was in a little bit some better positions and allow me to be more consistent. I don't know. There wasn't like a specific thought at Hilton Head that clicked and it was just like, now we're off and running. It was just, it finally just kind of all came together. I would say there were some weeks before that I had started to hit it good, hit it like that for 2 rounds or 3 rounds. And Hilton Head was kind of the first time all 4 of them came together. And again, it's a confidence thing. It's a trust thing. Like you can sit there and stripe it all day on the range and at home and shoot a bunch of low scores, but I just knew it was going to be a little matter of time before I did it, on tour on the road. And then as soon as that happened, it was like we're off and rolling.
Well, Hilton Head was very good, but I think things really clicked when either you hit the fence or that tree left of number 12 at Travelers on Thursday. Let's be honest here.
I think I hit. Yes, that was the biggest probably momentum swing I get. I mean, I didn't even see it. I hit it so far left. There might be a house over there that you can't even see what it hit, because I didn't even watch it. I saw it. I was trying to hit this kind of bleeder fade that I'd hit there all the time, and I just hit the biggest tomahawk draw double cross. And as soon as I saw it get up in the air, I turned and I went over the bag to grab a ball, and Fleener saw it hit a tree and kick out 50 yards or something into the fairway, and hit a 6-iron on the green and birdied the next 5 after that, I think. So it was like went from making 7 to 5 under.
And you finished second that week, and then you win the next week at John Deere.
Yeah.
So that's what clicked.
Weird shit like that can happen.
That is what clicked.
Yeah, exactly.
That was literally. Those are the types of things, like when you look back, like we didn't win that week, but those are the types of things where you do something like that and you get an incredible break, and those are things that happen when you win or when you have great weeks, is you get some incredible breaks and you get, stuff like that happens. We had something similar to that happen at Wyndham's second hole of the tournament. I kind of hooked one left and thought it was going in the hazard of the road on 11, and hit a tree, kicked in the mulch, made par, and we're off and rolling.
I mean,
didn't make bogey.
Yeah, didn't you look at your 2 wins? That's what I was going to say.
Did not make bogey.
Tell you that, bud.
Yeah.
Bogey free at Wyndham.
That's a joke.
What was that? First person since like 1974.
74.
Yeah, and then at John Deere, I mean, you're wire to wire. Like when you get up there, you don't mess around.
You go.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were talking about college and like having success and winning. I think a lot of that comes to I had a lot of good finishes in college and won several times. So getting to the top of the leaderboard, whether it's a college event or amateur event or PGA Tour event, you're still you're trying to win a golf tournament. And Colt, like you guys know, it's not it's just trying to close it out, trying to win.
And there's an art to that.
So
I gotta ask though, like for guys that have never gone that long without making a bogey, like I know you're trying to win the golf tournament, but at any point you're like, holy shit, I've gone 64 holes right now.
You had to be aware of that.
No, I definitely, and honestly, it was probably a good thing. I because coming down the stretch on Sunday, like the last 9 holes, I had a couple good par putts that I made to kind of keep the momentum of the round going and staying bogey free. And my whole mentality was not worrying about this is to keep me tied for the lead or to keep me 1 ahead or to keep me 1 back or like where I stood on the leaderboard. My mentality was I want to stay bogey free and post a low number, and just if I get beat, then I literally got beat. I didn't make any mistakes, but I wanted to try and stay bogey free. And so like coming down the stretch, that was actually kind of my focal point, trying to close it out.
We had Fleener on the following Monday on the radio show, and I think the first thing he said when he came on, he's like, "You boys seen any bogeys?"
Yep, I haven't seen one.
I can't seem to find one.
Can't seem to find one out here.
Oh man,
what a beaut!
It didn't take us long.
We got to talk about Fleener.
We made.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
No, I think I was going to say it didn't take us long. Liberty National next week. I think we made like a dub on 5th or 6th hole.
Out of the way. Just get it out of the way.
And got rid of it. Just get it out of the way.
Too much pressure.
I know.
I love it. I mean, that'd be so cool. Winning in your home state of North Carolina. It gets you an invite to the Masters, which I know 2020 was obviously a much different Masters, being in November and everything.
Yeah.
How excited are you for this coming April to get to experience, your first real Masters, what it feels like? What feels like it's going to be a real Masters?
I can't wait. I mean, like you said, the November it's still the Masters. The November Masters was great. It was a little eerie, nobody out there. But it was, I mean, it's still a great experience. You got to play in the Masters, but April getting to do, the practice rounds, having all the patrons back out there, the par 3 tournament, like all the stuff that goes with it. And then, getting a real look at what it looks like in April. So I'm excited. I'm pumped. I know Fleener's pumped. This is going to be a blast.
He looks great in that white jumpsuit.
Who are you bringing out for the practice rounds?
He's going to – what's that?
Who are you bringing for the practice rounds before? You got a list?
I'm going to take my brother at some point. Last time I took my dad, and I took Fleener. And then this time around I'm gonna take my brother, and then I'm not sure after that. I gotta figure out when we're gonna go. But I know at least my brother Bailey.
Well, we got
to talk about Fleener.
Fleener's the guy.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest.
All right,
I mean, I don't know if I was the first, but I was one of the first times he ever caddied in a professional event. And it was at a Corn Ferry event in Knoxville. But here's a guy, I mean, he played college golf, but wasn't, he wasn't caddying full time or anything like that. And he worked his way right into a PGA Tour job. Now he's got 2 wins with you. What's this relationship been like with the big cat, Aaron Fleener?
Dude, he's the greatest human being alive. Anybody that knows him knows that, and anybody that doesn't know him or sees it from afar can probably tell or get that feel. Just he, I get asked a lot of times what makes Fleener so good at what he does, what makes him a good caddy. I'm like, anybody can add up the numbers and talk, walk the courses, and I mean he's had his moments. We can talk about that if you want. I'm sure those stories.
We'll get to that.
He's just so good at being a good dude. Like it's obviously because it's so natural to him. But like we just have fun out there, and like he's quick witted and like good at making you laugh and like kind of taking that stress away, and like that if you're playing well, like he's good at keeping you away from thinking about the leaderboard or whatever. And if you're playing terrible, then he's good at throwing a couple jokes or giving you some shit and saying, forget about it. Like, let's bounce back. Like he's a natural.
Are you concerned at all that he might be signing a major record deal in the near future and leaving the game of golf behind?
I hope not. I hope he's thinking of that as his, retirement plan. I'd like to think, if you can sing, you're always going to be able to sing. I mean, a lot of those artists, they're on tour till they're old as dirt. And, I hope he wants to kind of walk those fairways with me for a long time. And then whenever we decide to shut it down, then he can pursue that.
So he is the best.
We'll see how that goes. I don't know. He's getting big time pretty quick, and everybody's figuring out how good he can sing. So
celebrity caddy, dude, look out for that. You know what I mean? Could be tough.
Yeah, I know.
You keep winning though. You keep winning like you are. I feel like he'll be around.
We keep playing good golf. I'll keep him around a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. The more exposure he gets, then the bigger record deal he gets. I mean, he might be out there with Luke Combs on tour one day. You never know.
Play the long game.
Go from caddying for James Tyree to opening for Luke Combs. Sounds like a pretty good little story.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's a nice resume.
That is a very nice resume. Should we get to the E9?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we're going to get to the E9 here with you, JT. We asked this to everybody. You can be anyone for a day, dead or alive. Who would you choose? Get to walk in those shoes for one whole day.
This is supposed to be like rapid fire.
No, you can think on it.
First thing, let me dead or alive. I mean, I think Michael Jordan would be up there. My first thought always goes to like an athlete, and I think MJ would be pretty cool.
I thought Carolina boy. There was no doubt it was going to be MJ.
MJ's becoming popular.
Yeah. I think MJ and Chapel Hill would have been pretty cool.
Yeah,
as a Tar Heel.
First
fan.
off, MJ anywhere. MJ present day is still pretty damn cool.
Sounds pretty fucking good.
Present day is pretty good.
I don't know what he's got, but I bet it's good.
Right.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
All right, you're recently married. All right, so congrats on that. But so you have good perspective on this question. Who owns more Gucci, your current wife or your former roommate, Keith Mitchell?
Get him,
Keith Mitchell.
Knew it.
Sure.
I freaking knew it.
It's not even close.
Keith Mitchell.
What a little bougie.
Yeah, I don't know who owns what, but it's got to be Keith.
I bet Keith's got more bags.
I was going through the airport the other day, and there was this guy going through security. He had a Louis backpack, a Louis suitcase, Louis belt, Louis shoes, and Louis sunglasses. I was like, holy shit, Keith Mitchell's in Phoenix. It wasn't him, though. I was really disappointed it wasn't him.
Excuse me, sir. Where'd you get that?
God, head to toe.
Louis.
Where'd you get that subtle outfit?
Kevin?
Oh, Kevin,
Jeff,
Mitchell. Whatever your name is.
Bonus ball. Give me the worst roommate habit of Keith Mitchell.
He's not very clean. Not very clean. Oh. We stayed in some hotels together on the Web.com tour, saving some pennies here and there, and he likes to leave his clothes all over the place. And anybody that stayed with him will know what I'm talking about. It could be anywhere.
Poor Keith. I mean, I talked to him for 20 minutes this morning. He had nothing but nice things to say about you, and then we come on here and just shit all over
love
him.
it.
I mean, y'all are just giving me y'all are alley. I mean,
We're just tossing these up, dude. Just here you go.
Yeah,
Finish
these
that.
are layups. He would do the same. He would do the same to me if you gave him some layups.
If we drag you on this show, it means we love you.
That's true.
If we don't drag you,
that is true.
You suck.
All right.
Exactly.
Next one. When I hear things aren't going too well on the golf course, you tend to say, I'm never coming back to this effing place again. I need to hear your top 3 courses that you've said that the most at.
The best one is definitely Travelers. I mean, I said it about Travelers, and the reason I say it, I feel like I should play well at Travelers, and until this year, I'd never made the cut there, and for some reason, I couldn't pinpoint why. I feel like it's a good course setup for me. Couldn't tell you why. So that one's probably top of the list. I said it about Mayakoba, Mexico, because I love hitting in the mangroves down there and making sevens.
You and Slade's got that in common.
Mm-hmm. Probably a faulty driver, dog.
Yeah,
not your
I got that covered. One of the rounds recently, I shot 72 and made like 9 birdies, just playing great. And then I just hit 2 just sideways drives on 2 holes and screw it up. Third one, I don't know. The Fleener knows them better. I mean, I'm good at saying it and I forget it now, and I'm good. Fleener probably remembers them.
Mayakoba was on the list, and then Bay Hill. He goes, but Bay Hill's $20 million this year. We're going back.
Yeah.
Changed my mind, boys. Coming back.
I mean, they don't pay any of that $20 million if you don't make the cut. So we still got to decide on that one. So But yeah, Bay Hill, I have a hard time with Bay Hill.
I was talking to Keith about that this morning. I was talking about his schedule, and he was like, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to skip LA and play Honda or the other way around. I'm like, you're going to skip LA? It's $20 million. He goes, yeah, I've never made a cut there, and I've won at Honda, and I don't think anybody's going to play. I'm like, okay, never mind. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, the way I'm looking at it, like Bay Hill, yeah, the purse is great, but a week off before our biggest purse of the year is probably not a bad idea either.
It's a great point. They don't pay if you miss the cut.
Yeah, there's something to that.
You don't get
I can speak to that.
That's
got to sign a little deal with Adams on the fly.
I don't think we've even shot under par on Bay Hill yet. So
you ain't the only one. That place is.
We got to figure that one out. Yeah,
monster.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's a beast.
All right, I'll tee up again. I'll throw another oop up to you, let you finish this thing. You got a good rap with Max Homa, obviously. You recently posted his high school picture on Twitter, okay? Let's assume you'd never met Max Homa in your life before and you saw that picture. Give me your first impression.
Oh, God. I mean, he probably looks like a douche to me. I mean, it's kind of one of those I'm not sure if yes. I don't know. Would we be friends? Maybe. Would we have a whole lot in common? Maybe not. I don't think I'd go the double stud earring.
Man,
personally,
nice.
I don't have any of those pictures back in the day. But also, like when I was that age, like I looked like I was 11 years old, so I don't have a whole lot of room to talk.
I was very happy when you did that because he posted my like freshman college picture on my birthday and just buried me.
It's tough.
And so I was very proud of you when you did that.
I did not realize the traction that it would get, but it was good. It was pretty good.
That had to be peak boy band era right there. Had to be.
Oh yeah.
When Justin was doing it, like, oh, I'll do that, or that other dude from the other one, whatever, Backstreet, yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, we can stay on Max here.
Right in. Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Is it true that Max Homa is your mom's least favorite golfer on the PGA Tour?
No, she loves Max, but she still holds a grudge over the fact that bet that we did, the Braves Dodgers bet, the first time we did it, Dodgers win, he gets to take over my Twitter for 24 hours, and he did it. I got to give him props. He crushed it. He had some funny stuff that he threw out there, and one of the ones was like, even my mom, I forget what, even my mom doesn't call me the real JT or something like that, or calls me. Even my mom calls me the other JT.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
something
what
like
it was.
And my mom saw it, and she's like, "What?" But
Max said she
You're
came
not
up.
the other JT, baby. I love you.
Max said she came up to him at a tournament and like played it off really good. Like she was actually like, "Hey, I do not think that."
Hey, you little asshole.
Yeah, she did. She likes to kind of egg it on a little bit
I like
and have
that.
some fun with it, which was great.
All right, that's perfect segue into this next one because you've been nice enough to come on our radio show on occasion when we call you and ask you. Is the best part about coming on Gravy and the Sleeves is that we've never introduced you as former Alabama standout Justin Thomas, as some other radio shows, nationally syndicated radio shows have
Dude,
done.
That is incredible.
What show was that?
That was the perfect. It was ESPN. It was.
Oh, boy.
It was. I don't even remember. It was the day after the John Deere, I think. And I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know where the miscommunication was, but they kind of. It's like the intro, and it's like talking about something that Justin had just tweeted out, or like that kind of went viral a little bit, and they were talking about it, and they said Alabama stand out, and I'm like, no way. And I didn't know what to say. I mean, it was like 20 seconds in, and they say like, "How you doing, JT?" And I'm like, "Guys, I don't know what to tell you, but this is not the JT that you guys think you're talking to."
See, I wish you would have just played it off and acted like Justin Thomas and said just the most ridiculous things.
I know. I mean, in hindsight, that would have been pretty funny to do that, but
God, that's incredible.
I was caught off guard. I'm not gonna lie, I was caught off guard. I was still riding the high of coming off a win. I thought maybe they would know that it was the right guy, but obviously they didn't. And man, that was pretty bad.
They all can't be professionals like
Yeah,
Sleaze
dude.
and
Not
I,
everybody's so buttoned up with
hey,
the research like we are. Should have come in.
Y'all are on your game.
Hey, good to have me. Thanks for having me on, boys. Auburn sucks. Tiger sucks. Rory sucks. Everyone sucks. I'm the best.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. This isn't grammatically correct, but it makes it funny. What's wetter, a water park or you at Congaree in 2021?
I cannot be wetter than I was at Congaree in 2021. Could not be. DJ, we were playing with DJ, and DJ is sitting there, and there is a puddle on the green, and I'm sitting there like it's like I'm like, we're trying to play. I'm trying to set my ball down like behind the mark and get ready to hit this putt soaking wet, and I'm like, this is like kind of because it dumped rain. I was like, is this casual water? Like, do we need to get the brushes out or whatever and squeegee it? And DJ goes, no, bro, that's from your shirt, or like something like that, where he's like saying like I was so wet, and he's like, that's just from your shirt or from your clothes. I mean,
I was with your group that day, and I was laughing hysterically at you and Fleener looking at each other like, are you kidding me? We don't have the umbrella right now.
Yeah. Well, I will stick up for Fleener. We talked like there was a 20, I don't know what it was, a 20% chance of rain, 30% chance of rain, not a big percent chance of rain for South Carolina in the summertime. And if anything, I grew up in the Carolinas. I live in Georgia. I would have thought if it's going to rain, it's going to be a thunderstorm, and we're not going to be out here playing in it. And so he was like, you think we need the umbrella? I was like, I don't know, probably not. And sure enough, just absolute downpour for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and soaked. I couldn't have been more wet if I jumped in a pool.
God, that was funny.
I felt bad for Fleener doing that. I was like, as a part-time professional caddy myself, I was like, damn, that's tough.
Part-time.
That's tough. Yeah, he got absolutely crucified on social media too.
I might have buried him on air a little more too. My bad.
Yeah. It's all right.
The boss says no umbrella. I ain't bringing an umbrella. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I was just as much to blame there as he was, but on air and to most people's eyes, it looked like he was the one that
as Tommy Armour III will always tell you, the umbrella's part of the bag.
Yeah, Fleener's got enough fan equity. He could bounce back from that.
Well, I mean, some of those weeks after, it'd say 2%, and that umbrella would be in there for that summertime. He's like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I brought snorkels, bro. We're gonna be fine no matter what.
Yeah.
All right, last one from me. Give me the worst experience you've ever had with hitting a fan with an errant tee shot.
Detroit. Yeah. We were playing Sunday. We were in the final group Sunday, the year that Nate Lashley won by like a million. I think we were in second, and we were like 6 or 7 back starting the day. But we get to par 5 on the back. I think it's 14 or 15, and I hit one left. And so like we're in the final group. There's a bunch of people, and we're yelling four, and apparently like we're yelling four, and everybody kind of ducks, and some girl like turned around like this, and I hit her like right in the upper lip, like busted her lip open like real bad. And we're walking up there, and the volunteer kind of gives me a warning. He's like, hey, like, so you know, there's some blood, like you hit a girl in the face. And I get up there, and she's fine. Like, she's like adamant about like, I'm fine, like don't worry about me. Like, and so I'm kind of telling her like, you know, reach out to me, like you send me a DM or something, I want to make sure you're okay. And then like I hit my shot, and we're walking about 15 yards, 20 yards in front, and like another guy's like kind of laying down like woozy, like about to pass out. And I'm like looking at Fleener, and I'm like, did I hit two people? Like what happened? What, you know, I saw the one girl that busted up her lip, but I was like, even if I hit her, how could I have hit another? I was confused by it. And then come to find out it was the girl's boyfriend that was like the guy that was woozy, and he like saw the blood, and he like got kind of, you know, lightheaded and almost passed out just from looking at the blood.
I mean, the girl
You
gets busted.
you did her
lip.
a favor, dude. You dropped the dead weight. There's no way that guy hung on in that relationship.
I don't know if he's still around or not. I haven't kept up with her, but she did send me a DM and said she was okay, and I think I hooked her up with some tickets the next year. And
yeah, here's some more.
And I only need one because I broke up with my boyfriend.
Yeah, don't when somebody yells four this time, don't turn around and try and look for it.
Here's some tickets. Wear a helmet next time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, back in the day, we had the golf boys: Ben Crane, Ricky Fowler, Hunter Mahan, Bubba Watson. Okay, we're gonna switch this over to the caddy version, and obviously, the big cat, Aaron Fleener, is the lead singer. I need 3 caddy members to finish off this boy band.
I mean, Gino Bonelli is an easy one.
He's the hype man.
I'm gonna put Joe Griner in there.
Yeah, he's got the beard. Looked like ZZ Top back in the day.
Yeah, he could pull that off. I'm struggling with a fourth. Who else? Can I put? I mean, he's not a caddy, but can we put Harry Higgs in there?
Sure,
Big rig?
We'll allow it.
We'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll allow it.
I feel like that. I mean,
Shirt off.
he'd get the crowd going. Yeah,
Another hype man. 2 hype men.
I love that. I'd rather watch them than the original Golf Boys.
I need to bring that back.
Yeah, 100%. Fleener, if somebody's going to get it going, I would put my money on Fleener and Gino. They'll get it rolling.
Yeah, they'll follow.
All right. Obviously, Fleener's known for calling Baton Rouge. I mean, that's his go-to. Do you have another favorite song that he sings?
So he sang my wife Kelly and I's first dance song at our wedding. He sang. Now you're putting me on the spot.
You should know this, sir.
It was just happened.
You put me on the spot. Hold on. I got it.
This isn't going to go viral at all.
It was Steady Heart. Yeah, I know.
Steady Heart.
This is going to be the clip that you're going to cut and say.
Yeah, this will be the first one.
I don't remember.
Here's JT Poston. He got married 2 weeks ago and doesn't remember his wedding song.
You get a little blasted in those things. It happens.
Steady Heart.
I like it. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
We had a couple cocktails. It was great. I mean, and he crushed it per usual. There's some videos floating around on the internet of it for sure.
Well, you crushed this, my friend.
Yeah,
man. Thank you so much for joining us. That was a blast.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, that was JT Poston joining us on Golf Subpar. Man, that was so much fun. First off, he just got married, and he didn't even remember his wedding song.
Hopefully, the wifey probably not a listener. That one's probably going to skirt under the radar. However,
first fight
maybe she
soon.
Gets informed by it randomly by a listener. Who knows? Who knows what could happen?
But man, we mentioned his caddy Aaron Fleener. We've had him on the show. One of my best buddies in the world. The man can sing. Look out! You better keep paying him well, James Tyree. Or he might be heading for a record deal.
Keep winning, bud. And then I also love that right after he won, comes on the radio, nationally syndicated, ESPN radio. They introduce him. And the host think he's Justin Thomas. And I was like, God, that's just
the pride.
That's just a tough.
That's
why you got to go by Tyree. By the way, nobody thinks
point.
Justin Thomas is Tyree. You start just saying, "Hey, just call me Tyree." Easy. You're
Great
one.
Point.
You become a one name. You become Tiger, Beyonce, Madonna. All you need is one name, Tyree. That's it.
And we talked about his putting. You know, everyone that plays the game of golf wants to be perfect. They want it to look like Adam Scott. Well, newsflash, it ain't. Do it your way and make it work. And that's what James Tyree does.
It's like all the best putters kind of have that same mentality. It's the guy that tries to be like the robot with all the, stuff that it's like, dude, you're just stripping down all the field. That's why I like talking to guys like Tyree, who are great putters, but it doesn't look like you wouldn't necessarily walk into an instructor and be like, do it like this. But guess what? He makes tweets.
I might just go by Tyree.
You gonna jack that?
No, if I'm him.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Tyree
Dude, it would
Poston.
eliminate all the confusion. Your one name, Rory. People say Rory. They're not thinking about anybody else. Say JT. Like, well, that's my name too.
And this will be his second Masters
Tyree.
this coming April, but his first one where he gets the full experience. He
Yeah.
played in the 2020 Masters, won by Dustin Johnson during COVID, where obviously limited patrons, very, very few patrons, played in November. He gets the full experience, and he is very excited about it.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be? This is like your first real one. I mean, I know going there under any circumstances is sweet, but like you're all hyped up for your first one. You walk out there and it's like, where is everyone? And it just played so different. Yeah. I mean, that was when DJ just bombed it around that joint.
But really enjoyed sitting down with James Tyree. That was great. All right, let's get to some gambling, our specialty, as we do here.
Of course. Jags, how about – I had Jags last week.
Winner.
Never in
Never
doubt,
a doubt.
by the way. Easy. Some nitwit bet $1.4 million to win $11,000 on Chargers money line at 27-0. Obviously not listening to this show.
I felt better the next day than he did.
Yeah, I had a bit of a bad run this week, and that made me feel a lot better. Well, I didn't burn 1.4.
What a stupid bet, though.
If you have that kind of money, throw around a second half live bet. Does $11,000 move the needle enough to even wager that? There's no up. I mean, that's
I would hope
nothing. That's something we'll probably never have to worry about.
Maybe
Although I would love to imagine the feeling you get with 1.4 out there. But that'd be just on like a spread.
The feeling.
It'd have to be to win more than 11.
My heart would be going
11
9,000 RPMs, and I'd be sweating, and I'd be freaking
That's fun,
out. Like,
though.
what the
You're
hell's-
alive.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
what
great.
it's all about.
Remember-
Responsibly, though.
Remember when it was
obviously.
27-0? That was cool.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, my
Responsibly firing 1.4 million.
I took the Bills. They lost to some quarterback no one's ever even heard of.
I think that's sneaky.
Out of K-State.
Sneaky close.
All right.
Skyler.
Well, let's get back to it. By the way, my Cowboys, well, I'm not sure at this point if they won or lost, but when this comes out, it'll be one or the other. So either I'm going to be
I
a
know
happy
that
football
feeling.
fan,
Oh, this
or we'll be sad together.
reminds me because it's been a long time since we did this. This is the first show back since the TCU. You're in the same. We recorded that one the day of TCU.
Oh, yeah, they
Georgia,
lost.
and then
By a little bit.
it was close. We just ran out of time. It was one of those games like we just need a couple more possessions. We were starting to figure them out at the end. They kneeled it on their last possession. They had enough. They
Couldn't
said,
handle it.
We don't want any more. Throwing in the white
I was
flag.
a big fan of Georgia when they went for it on 4th and 5 up like 65-7.
Up 100-0. I was like, really,
What are you
dude? And then they
doing?
bring in their second string. Like, oh, they're pulling their starters. Guess who their second stringers are? Just next year's NFL draft crop. And I was like, they're pissed. They're finally getting their chance to go. I was like, just end this debacle immediately. Keith Mitchell's trying to get me wear a Georgia hat on the show, which, by the way, was never part of the bet. So I'm going to probably fade that a lot. But he's been
Was it?
it was not part of the bet. I can go back and show all the text too. But he's trying to lean on that heavy, but I'm opting out of that. Not part of the deal.
Okay.
But good luck to you. You're
Here
gonna
we
be
go.
either sad
Yeah, we'll find
or
out.
real pissed.
All right, well, let's get to some football before we get to the golf. I'm going to start it off. We're
Yeah, I
getting
gotta
down to the
get mine.
nitty gritty. This is tough. Oh, you don't even have
I
one
gotta
yet?
get mine.
Oh,
Well,
so
we don't know all the
as-
matchups yet.
As you're watching, we're obviously doing a lot of research, heavy research into our football picks. This is tough. I really want to go with the Chiefs over the Jags. I think the Jags are a little spent, and I think the Chiefs are.
Chiefs
I think everyone
still
thinks they're
the
the real
Chiefs.
deal. But this Cincinnati Bengal team
8.5,
is on a Michigan. Sorry, no, didn't mean that.
Little
They
Freudian
are on.
slip.
They are on a mission. I love Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, weapon, T. Higgins, all the guys going up to Buffalo, getting 4.5. I mean, they had obviously their game with what happened to Damar Hamlin didn't get to be played out. I'm excited for this one. This is a big time matchup. It's in Buffalo, which is going to be tough, but Cincinnati can handle the cold. Giving Joe Burrow 4.5, I like it.
Ooh, a little dog play there. I like that a lot. All right, I'm just pulling this up right now. Just going to go off the top of the head. Our producer's not going to like this, but
Oh,
the
boy.
Giants have advanced, knocking off the Vikings. They're going up against Philadelphia Eagles, having a bit of a year, coming back, should be healthy. They're catching 7 and a hook. This is no offense to Mark. Well, maybe a little bit of offense to Mark. I don't think New York's very good.
I don't either.
And I think Philly is really good. I didn't think they were at the beginning, but they've done it over and over and over. I'm like, that team's really damn good. I'm going to take the Eagles in a beatdown at home. Minus 7 and a hook.
We're supposed to stay in the moment, not get ahead of ourselves.
That's
but
no
if
fun.
My God, can the Cowboys just somehow have beat the Bucks yesterday when this all came out, and then go to San Fran, somehow take down Brock Purdy? Eagles, Cowboys, NFC Championship game.
Be fun.
My God,
It would be fun. I think y'all beat. I'm going to go out and predict this. I could look like an asshole after this. I think you beat the Bucks lose to the Niners.
I think Brock Purdy's going to.
I think he doesn't
slap
have to
us
do a
around?
whole lot with the rest of that team. I think he's got a pretty nice gig.
All right. Well, let's get to some golf.
Yeah.
We're a golf show, and we're experts. We're on to the Amex Championship last week. Okay, I took Jordan Spieth and Denny McCarthy.
You were looking good.
They were 1-2 after Thursday. Denny
good.
had a solid week. Jordan, a little MC. First round lead to MC. Don't know what the hell happened. Let's just forget about it, Jordan, and move on.
It's rare, but it does happen. It happens on PGA Tour. I've done it on the Jicks. It's humbling, but it happens, even to the greats. So he'll bounce. You know what? I'm not worried about Jordan.
Listen,
He's
going to bounce back. We're going to bounce back.
Be okay.
We're heading out to Palm Springs, the American Express Championship. But really good field. John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele. It's a very nice
Tom
list.
Kim. Yep.
I'm going to go with the current number 2 player in the world who played well here last year, I believe, and he's going off at 10-1, Scotty Scheffler.
Yep. Okay. Scotty. I'm going to go with a guy. I'm staying high on top of the board this week. I'm going to go Patrick Cantlay, plus 950. He doesn't really ever play bad. He hasn't played a whole lot this year. He was runner-up in Vegas to Tom Kim. We've only seen him once since then. 16th at the TOC, whatever. No big deal. Kind of a vacation week or whatever, but should be well-rested, tighten up the game, playing close to home. Give me Patrick Cantlay. Got to make 1,000,000 birdies out there, and he can fill it up just about as good as anybody.
He lives in Florida.
Yeah, but it's home. You know what I'm talking about. Home.
Okay. For a dark horse, I got 2 dark horses for you.
Ooh,
okay.
A double dark?
Yes. Guy that got off to a nice start again last week, but I feel like this kind of golf just suits him really well. You know, it's the stadium course is challenging. The Nicklaus course is kind of whatever. La Quinta, you shoot the grass off the place. But Cam Davis going off at 48-1. I think this guy is just going to continue to rise in the world rankings. Played great at the President's Cup. Has picked up a PGA Tour win. I just really like his game, and at 48-1, I'm going to go with Cam Davis. And then just because I couldn't believe the number that was next to his name.
Talk to me.
He's off to a nice, solid start this year, making his first start of 2023. He's going off at 65-1.
Talk to me.
Saw a swing on the internet the other day that looked pretty damn good. Ricky Fowler, let's go.
What do you think about that new action? I mean, it looks clean. I don't give a damn what Ricky's action looks. He was pretty good when people would say, oh, it's too flat, it's too laid off, all this stuff. He just is good at golf. I think the more he gets away from the swing and just hits shots, the better. But it doesn't hurt when it's perfect. And that looked pretty damn good. Looked as good as I've seen it. We'll see what it looks like in an actual tournament.
All right. 65-1, sprinkle a little something on it.
Yeah. I'm speaking of dudes that are hot and a number next to him that is attractive. How about Taylor Montgomery, plus 4,500? All he does is never play bad. Going back to Corn Ferry, he's on as good of a run as anybody has been in the last 6 months, any tour. He finished, 12th last week, which was like a ho-hum finish for him. He was on the first page of the leaderboard most of the final round.
I think that's 8 events, 7 top 15s.
I mean, he makes everything, which you got to do in Palm Springs because people are going to just go incredibly low. It's desert golf. I mean, he's a Vegas guy, but, kind of similar grass, overseeded rye, all that. I'll just keep riding Taylor Montgomery while they're throwing out odds like this.
When's he going to take a week off?
Why would you? As soon as he stops liking money, probably.
He's a Montgomery. He's
doing all right. He's doing all right. So, yeah, give me TM plus 4,500.
All right. I like it. That's going to do it for our picks for the Amex this week. Before we go, this podcast continues to grow and grow and grow. And when I was down at the Latin Am, I feel like I've learned we have reached a new audience. We're popular down in Barbados.
Oh.
My man Simon.
Is that where Rihanna's from?
I don't know.
Somewhere around there.
That's where I know.
Mark can fact check that.
That's where I know my man Simon is from. Big listener of the show, listens every single week.
Shout out
Met him
Simon.
down there. Want to give him a big shout out. He's a banker. Obviously plays good enough to get in the Latin American Amateur. So it was really cool meeting him, and just to know that Subpar's made its way to Barbados.
Maybe
we do a live show.
Great spot to do a live show from. If you don't want to come, I'll just go.
Yeah.
I'll handle it solo.
Perfect.
Do a little recon. Also, the thumb question.
Oh,
thumb or
God.
eyeball
Here we
got
go.
introduced, which is a great debate, by the way. You're heavy on you'd rather lose a thumb. I'm heavy on I'd rather lose one eye. How about Jeremy, our champion blind golfer, tweeting in at me? He's like, hey, dude, I'm the legally blind golfer. I've won this and that. I would much rather. He's like, I couldn't imagine not having a thumb. From a dude who golfs legally blind. That should settle. I think that just settles the whole debate.
Okay, that's gonna do it for
That
us.
settles it. That settles
gonna
it,
do
dude.
it
That's
for
the
us.
dude who knows, bro. And we're gonna keep asking people. By the
All right,
way.
we'll talk to you on next week's Subpar. Have a great week, everyone.